right, so I watched 5 films today. I'm here to tell you about 3 of them. I actually watched 4 from 2026, but I did a separate video for Whistle, which you can go watch if you want to know my thoughts on that alongside of my wife's. But for now, let's talk about the 3 films we're here to talk about, which I'm going to start with the Filipino film P77. Yeah, you guys know I always like to support my Southeast Asian horror. I cover all sorts of stuff from Indonesia to Thailand to the Philippines, so on and so forth. So this is a woman who takes a job on a boat. Something goes wrong. She comes home and then she goes looking for her mom and ends up getting a job house sitting or penthouse sitting and cleaning this penthouse. And while she's there, she starts to experience some bad goings-ons. I actually really liked this one. I think that it's a pretty freaking devastatingly sad film, and absolutely nothing in this movie is going to be all that surprising. It's all stuff you've seen before. The twists and whatnot are all going to be very obvious throughout, but that doesn't really take away from the experience that much for me. I just kind of rolled with it and was like, yeah, okay, I know what's going on here. I know what's going on here. I know where this is heading. I know what this is going to be, whatever. I didn't really care. I was just really kind of taken in by not only our performance from our lead. I actually thought she did pretty damn well when she needed to be like devastated and overwhelmed and all of those things. That was, she delivered that stuff very well, and that's where this film really needs to succeed. And in the other places that it needs to succeed, I think it really succeeds, which is in the horror department. I actually think there's some really creepy shit in here where I actually had to bring my wife over because she was doing something else. She didn't watch this one with me, but I was like, you got to see this one. You got to see this stuff. So I'd show her and she'd be like, what the fuck was that? That was creepy. That was scary. That was fucking freaky, wild. There was quite a few of those scenes. Not a ton. And of course, this is a Southeast Asian horror film, so it's longer, right? It's like an hour and 50 minutes. As these always are, and I don't know if it needs to be that long. It probably could have been 15 minutes shorter or something, but whatever. I still enjoyed it, man. I still dug it, and this is one I watched on Amazon Prime. It just dropped on there today or recently, so yeah, I dug it. If you are a fan of Philippines horror flicks, definitely check this one out. I give it a recommendation for sure, but haunted house style stuff that's pretty predictable, has some creepy stuff, and ultimately is a very sad, somber experience in the end. So yeah, that's the first one I watched. Moving into the second, which is more of a comedy thriller that's directed by and starring none other than Jason Biggs. Jason Biggs from the American Pie movies. Not someone I see all that much of anymore. I remember one of the last notable places I saw him was in the show Orange is the New Black. I don't remember seeing a whole hell of a lot of him otherwise. Maybe here and there, things that are escaping my mind for the time being, but this is about a guy, much like the movie My Boyfriend's Back. This is about a guy who stages a home invasion to try to win back, favor from his wife, or her love. He wants to be seen as the hero in her eyes, and they're on a rough patch. They're on a break, so he takes her to a location, and he has this whole thing planned out. And of course, things don't go so well. This is definitely one of those types of like everything that can go wrong will go wrong type of movies. And honestly, I kind of thought I knew where it was gonna go, but this movie has a lot of twists and turns to it that I was not expecting. I genuinely was pretty surprised by some of the shit. Now, it doesn't ultimately stick everything that it goes for, right? I don't think that it has the conclusion that for me that it was trying to land as far as like the punch of it, and like the satisfaction that you're supposed to get from it. But I still liked it. I was still a fan of it. I still had a good time. I thought it was funny and surprising and, you know, absurd at times, right? Like, but it's a movie. That's okay. As long as it doesn't go too overboard. I was like, oh, that's where we're going with this. And then something else would happen. I'd be like, oh, and the characters aren't all, black and white. Like, super good and super bad, right? So yeah, this was fun. It was definitely more on the comedy side, but it gets thrillery-ish at the end. So I definitely thought I would include it in here. And then the other film I'm gonna have to go grab my wife for, which we're gonna do a time jump because she's actually asleep right now. So I'll see you when she wakes up. All right, so now Kaylee is awake and we can discuss our third and final film here, Savage Flowers, which is about a future in which kids, little girls actually, have plague, a sickness that they can pass on to adults, and so they're being rounded up and being disposed of. This is almost identically the same story as the Spielberg's Daughters movie on Tubi called Please Don't Feed the Children. I was like, wow, this is like basically the exact same movie in a lot of ways. Like, how odd. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is a better film for sure than that is. But what'd you think?
I liked it. I thought it was very well acted. It was reminding me of that film and also a bit of The Plague, which we saw earlier this year.
Yeah, kind of.
There's definitely some bullying aspects in this. That was kind of reminiscent of it. It was also giving me Yellow Jackets vibes, yes. Lord of the Flies, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Basically any story where children are trying to govern themselves and inevitably they kind of turn into the worst versions of humanity, I guess. I did like it. I thought that it was I guess I wanted, it's fairly contained, so I kind of wanted a little bit more with the world stuff, but I think that just goes to show that I was just interested in everything that was happening, and I don't really think that's a big knock on the film. So
yeah, I don't think that it really fully capitalizes on a lot of things that it sets up. There's stuff that's introduced into the film with like the red bands and the threat, and which is very Nazi-esque, and their involvement and inclusion in the film, and this other character that comes in with them and his attachment to something. And then there's another character who is like a groundskeeper of sorts who's there, and kind of like when they leave, they never come back. They're just kind of gone, and you're like, oh, we're done with those characters. We're done with that subplot. We're done with that thing, right? And then same thing with another big character in this movie, like. We see them one more time and then we just don't ever see them again. And you're like, that's a big character to ignore. So I don't know. It's a very pretty film, right? Like, I really like the vibe of how it's filmed. I definitely think it's trying to go for like a 70s exploitation type of film, or even almost like a Peter Weir, like Picnic at Hanging Rock or something kind of aesthetic. I like the music. As you said, I liked the girls in this. A lot of bullying stuff. That movie I watched last year called Host had a pretty similar vibe. We're naming like 15 different movies this reminded us of. Ultimately, I liked the film fine, but I just feel like it was missing a good amount that would have made this feel satisfying. There's a lot of satisfaction, and it just kind of abruptly ends as well, where I'm like, oh, because like, and then there's the way it ends. We were both kind of like, we see two characters in the distance, and we were like, I don't know what that means. Yeah. Who are those people?
Yeah.
right? And what is that? Did I miss something here? Like, I don't. What does that mean for the rest of the film? Fill in the blank yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's a bit of a frustrating watch because I thought it could have been really good. I think it had a lot of potential to it, but it just didn't really live up to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, really cool masks though.
Very cool.
That was probably, and then the location is very cool
mm-hmm.
as well. But yeah, I really like those masks. Very Yellow Jackets.
Very, very. Yeah.
But man, just a missed opportunity. Not a bad film, but and then I could also see people getting upset about it, saying that it has some kind of like an agenda to it or some bullshit like that. But if whatever, I'm not going to speak on that. So it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Savage Flowers. Not to be too savage.
No.
Yeah, but that's that. Anything more with this one?
That's all.
All right, guys. So there's 3 films for you. What are you guys thinking about these triple feature reviews? We're trying to condense them into one video so we don't bog down the channel with too much content. So let us know how this is working for you, and if it's your first time here, you better hit that subscribe button or I'll come to your house. I will rearrange your furniture and you won't know what hit you. That sounded like a euphemism.
It did.
But that's not. I was literally just going to take your furniture and rearrange it.
Sure you were.
Inside of you. All right, guys. Adios.
Bye.